You're all set.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Anne Arundel School Project Building Committee. It is June 20th. It is 5:18 p.m. Lauren, would you do the roll call, please?
Yep. Chairman Woods,
Here.
Carol Duggan,
Here.
Dave Nagel,
Here.
Amy Parati,
Here.
Kim Rada,
Here.
Jeremy Wetzel,
Here.
and I don't see Brittany, but you do have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. I don't see her either. Next item is public participation. And there is no one from the public. Next item is take action on prior meeting minutes. We have one, the meeting of May 16th, 2024. If someone would like to approve that.
So moved.
Thank you, Dave. And a second.
Second.
Second by Amy. Any questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Let's see. Architects update. I think we have Paul with us today.
Good afternoon, everybody. Dave Becerra is here as well.
Oh, is he?
As you
Oh,
may
yeah,
know,
that's-
Jennifer is away for a well-deserved 2-week vacation with her family. So David and I will be covering for her in her absence.
Okay.
Before she
Sure.
left, she prepared her report, and I'll read it and to
Okay.
give the committee an update. Recent design team activities. KBA and our consultants continue to review contractor submittals, mainly for closeout documentation, respond to questions, visit the site to review construction activities weekly, and attend meetings both in person and virtually as requested and as needed. We continue to review potential change orders and contractors' applications for payment before recommending them for your approval. We continue to coordinate furniture installations. We continue to participate in punch list activities for the general construction and furniture. The potential change orders, the following potential change orders were reviewed and signed by KBA and are recommended for approval. PCO number 240, it's the D-wing ramp handrails conflict, and that has a value of $1,502.72. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the second one is PCO 254, gym roof drain coordination. That has a $0 value. The third one is PCO 260. It's the brake metal ceiling details with a value of $966.86. Fourth one is PCO 261. That's D-wing roof edge existing deck support with a value of $3,057. The fifth one is PCO 263, fascia extender on E&F wing. That has a $0 value. And lastly, PCO 264, canopy conduit underground routing with a value of $3,348.90. So those are the PCOs. And lastly, we reviewed application for payment number 25 for Newfield. Newfield construction application number 25 has been reviewed, signed, and recommended for payment. Total certified by architect to date is $396,801.73. That concludes my report.
Any questions of Paul or Dave? Thanks, Dave. Next two are owners, project managers update and financial update. Both of those will be you, Eileen.
Okay, I'll
Stephen,
go ahead.
questions?
Go ahead, Carol.
Oh, I'm sorry, Carol, I didn't see you.
Okay, so I have several questions, I think go under the architect's report from staff members. One was about the brown paint color. Several staff members want to paint over that brown. They don't feel it's a child-friendly color. And I know before the second grade wing was completed, I went to Jason with those concerns. And he did bring it up to someone, I'm not sure who, but that the brown people are very unhappy with that. So I wanted to bring that up. Second grade asked a question about bookcases. They have loads of books for their classroom library. However, there's no place to put them. So the question is furniture coming for the bookcases for second grade? Third thing that was brought up, that the hallways and cafeteria are really bland. People feel the school looks like a hospital. And could some of that, some artwork or some pops of color somewhere be placed in the building so it's not so sterile? Another question was, what were the green blocks that are hanging from the ceiling in the media center? What are they for? They're really not very becoming. So I think if people know what they're for, maybe they'll feel a little bit better about them. And the last question was the treehouse in the media center. We know that the PTO raised over $9,000 for that, but we've never seen a rendering or not sure what happened with that. So I have other questions for later on in the meeting, but I think those probably would come under the architect. I know it was a lot.
Yeah. Paul, can you handle some of those or?
I can help with the last two.
Go ahead, Eileen. Go ahead.
Actually, Carol, let me ask you a question about the second grade library bookcases. We do have bookcases coming for the media center, but
This is for
the
the classroom?
furniture for the classrooms
Mhm.
is, no, all the furniture for the classrooms has all been delivered.
So I guess the question is, why, for a second grade classroom, why wouldn't there be room for a classroom library? I mean, every classroom has a library and they have no place. They've got hundreds, if not thousands of books, and they have no place to put them.
I noticed that they're all putting them up on top of the millwork. I can't answer as to why, because I kind of came after the design originally, but we can definitely look into it.
Okay, maybe something to talk to Jason about. I know Jason's concerned as well, because I went over all the things that I was going to bring up today, and he agrees with everything the staff has been, all of their comments, and
Okay.
that they asked me to bring up to the committee.
The brown paint, I know that people are not a fan of that color. However, when I was informed of that, the walls were already painted and I had mentioned it to Steve, and I think we're just gonna have, if someone didn't like those colors, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong here, we would just have someone use one of the other colors and
If you were at the
have
point in
it
the
done.
project, there was obviously they had purchased the paint. So
Yeah,
there's not
right,
gonna be any kind
correct.
of credit. And also this went through a whole review process by the staff, by the Board of Ed, and all these colors were approved by the board. Now, I understand when you're looking at a palette, a little swath on the palette, and then you look at a wall, it could be different. But the committee didn't pick those colors. The board and staff did, along with Jason.
The
So-
staff doesn't recall seeing a color palette. They only recalled seeing the color palette for the outside of the building, and they did vote on that. I think we had a gray and like a reddish, and there was another color. But the consensus is among the staff that most of the colors chosen are not elementary child friendly.
I don't know that I could argue with that point. I think they're it's all earth tones, which I was surprised to see. But again, I was already under the impression that, and again, we gave direction to the board as well as the staff there through Jason, that it's your school, pick the colors that you want. lesson learned. We will do the same thing next time, yet Board of Ed has to sign off on it. So that there is some consistency and they're aware of what colors they're getting.
Okay, I will,
okay.
I will let people know that.
The
But-
bookshelves we could look into, does anybody know?
Alright.
I don't have the answer to this question, but third grade, fourth grade, and first grade, do we have bookshelves in those classrooms?
Yeah, I can pull up the furniture plans,
Okay.
and get back to you on that.
Okay. So we'll look into
Tomorrow.
that one, Carol. All right.
Fourth grade
And then-
does, they have a whole
Or-
wall of
Right.
bookshelves.
And it might,
Um,
maybe it's something we can add. I don't know.
Okay,
You know, we have some money to be able to do some things. So,
all right.
okay.
Like I said, I'm the messenger.
I know, I understand.
So then also staying with the brown theme, the treehouse in the media center. So Jason hasn't given us the amount that you had, the $9,000 to do something, but I heard that you saw it the other day and it isn't finished. So, and what is hanging there are sound panels, so acoustical to absorb the noise. And it's green because it's supposed to, there's supposed to be a tree clouded painted on the wall. And I had shown Steve what this is supposed to look like. I can get the rendering.
But Jason said he's
it
never
wa-
seen the rendering of the tree house or the tree. So I don't know. Yeah, it just
Okay.
aesthetically, it just, you walk in and the green is I don't even know what color green it is. It's not a pretty green.
It's an
and-
earth tone green. I understand what you're saying. Apparently the new design, and Paul, please stop me if I'm incorrect here. They pick earth tone colors for elementary now that are calming colors instead of the bright elementary colors that everyone is used to. And I understand that a lot of people are not happy with the more monotone, shall we say, calming colors.
I
So-
can't I can't add to that, Eileen. That's and I don't want to. I'd like to take this back, Carol, to Jennifer and get some good answers for you.
Okay, thank you.
That's what the best I can do for this week.
Okay,
Okay,
perfect.
but
Thank-
I wrote them down and we hear you and we'll see how we can respond. Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
welcome.
Sorry, we didn't have all the answers, Carol, but we'll get them for you.
No, it's
Yes.
okay. And like I said, these questions have been coming throughout the whole process. But now when it's almost done and people are thinking, okay, it's not the elementary friendly school that we thought it was going to be. So I said, well, it's gonna be hard for me to bring that to the building committee, but I will bring your concerns forward.
Okay, so we'll get some more information and we'll discuss it at our next meeting.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, Eileen, we're gonna back to you for your owner's project manager update and financial update.
Okay, so we have finished with most of the furniture except for the media center. The classrooms are set up and moved. They have moved into D wing, relocated. There's a lot of work going on now. Cafeteria floor. Rich will give you some of these updates as well, but then we started on the canopy, so hopefully Rich has some photos to back this up. But we are completed now with D-Wing, except for a few outstanding items and following up on punch list. And then just all of the site work that has to happen this summer and coordination for that. Next, I'm going to share my screen for a financial update. Just a second. Okay, can everyone, oh,
Yeah, it's
All
coming
right,
up
yeah.
now.
okay, can everyone see this now?
Yeah, can you blow it
Mhm.
up a little bit, Eileen? 6 font should be eradicated from Earth.
It's larger, but
I know. I'm
like,
just
it's taking up the whole screen.
Yeah.
Hang on. I know there's a little button and hang on one second.
thinking that lower, that's it. There you go.
Alrighty,
That's good. At least it's good for me. Anybody else have any issues? I'm the oldest. Well, maybe Dave's got me beat by a month or two, but we're the old
so,
generation. That looks fine though. I can read that
okay,
easy.
good, excellent. So we're doing well on the budget. We have 93% complete on architectural design fees here, reimbursement, we have a bit more. Owner's rep, we're 82% complete. The hazardous materials and consulting, we should be about done with environment. I have to follow up with him again. Get everything that we need. Tri-state,
Bonded to you. I know you reached out to him last week. Have you heard back from him, John? No.
no, Lou was on the call with us and no,
Okay.
Lou, I can't see Lou right now, but we did not hear back from him and I will be placing a follow. We need that information
Yeah.
ASAP, so.
Okay.
Okay, and then Suzak has about 25% left here. The commissioning agent, so we'll start going through all of the commissioning for the HVAC systems in the next couple of weeks here. So we'll see billing after that. Moving and storage costs, we still have a move to complete in August, and then we just have the smaller invoices for moving and storage, so we're gonna be fine there. Stormwater and turbidity, we're about done here, except that we do have the site work through August, so I'm sure they'll make some further trips.
Yeah, they'll do
Or some
inspection
additional
until the whole
trips
site has been stabilized with
It-
seed.
and signed off, exactly. And we're
That'll go
about,
on probably for another 6 months.
yeah, until all the site work's accepted, the landscaping. All right, so FF&E, we just have the invoices to come in now and the media center. We should be complete and I'm waiting on the final technology invoices to come through for this last phase as well. Right now in owner contingency, we have 345,960 remaining. And that includes this change order that Rich is presenting as well. So I'll just give you a quick budget update. Am I moving into my invoice segment next? I lost the agenda on my screen, but
No, we're down a ways.
that's so okay. All right.
Hmm.
Well, just so you see, I have put the proposed amount in here for the playground and then the change order, which brings us to
Okay, so
the
you've
owner
uncovered that already.
contingency.
Yeah.
I have, just
Okay.
in case. All
Okay.
right. And with that, I'm gonna stop sharing. Anyone have any questions?
Anyone? Okay, we're gonna move on then to construction manager's update. Rich? And potential change orders. You've got both, Rich. 8 and 9.
Okay, pull up the photos that we've got for tonight. Starting in the media center, we did turn over the space about a week before the end of school. So the students were in there for the last week. We took the barrier wall down on the Saturday before. So since we finished this phase just over a month ago now for construction, furniture did get moved in. So owner's furniture, KBA's coordination was occurring in that area as well. We did leave the barrier walls up until the furniture was all brought into the space. So students were able to get in there the last week of school. Since then, additional furniture has been brought in. That's what you can see stored here in the media center. We have been hitting a large amount of the punch list items during that gap while furniture was getting moved in and before the students took over. So we do have a much smaller punch list on this phase 5 than we've had on the previous phases, which is a good thing as far as the turnover goes. So again, you can see the sound panels we were talking about earlier, acoustic panels hanging from the ceiling, and the furniture is again in place. We are just continuing with the punch list items in this area as well, which are again very minimal relative to some other phases. We have gotten a good start on those. Typical classroom is the technology room, which is off the media center. So owner's IT has been in, TVs have been installed, and you can see here staff has taken over the whiteboards and the tack boards in these areas for that last week of school. So overall in really good shape on phase 5 work. One of the things that was hung up just with a matter of field measuring and the very long lead time was this operable partition on the stage. So that was installed on Monday, now that the staff was emptied out of the building. So what this partition does is closes off the stage from the rest of the cafeteria. It's got a whiteboard surface on the inside, so it does allow for those classes to be taking place on the stage. So that, again, that was installed earlier this week, as well as the floor leveling got completed, mitigation and leveling completed on the cafeteria slab. The material you can see out in the picture here is delivered. They're going to start installing the LVT tomorrow. The installers were on site today, checking everything out, getting ready to go. So we're pushing to get as many of these punch list items done as we can these first couple weeks out. So the painter has been on site this week doing a lot of touch-up paint all around. The ceiling contractor has been here as well doing ceiling pad replacements and repairs as needed. So they're overall in good shape. The barrier walls did come down, like I said, the week before students left. So we are doing those tie-ins in those areas as well as with the mechanicals and the ceiling grid, architectural finishes. So wainscot tile going in on the corridors starting tomorrow as well, and dropping in ceiling pads and paint the ceiling around those connectors between B wing and D wing, and then from E wing to D wing. On the site work side, we have since removed the asphalt that was existing that we need to replace on the back side of the building, south side of D wing, as well as over at the bus loop where the temporary asphalt was in place. They've been hauling that out better part of this week, getting ready for the rest of the sidewalks to get installed. There's one more piece of underground drainage we need to do underneath at the top of the hill in this picture here. Other than that, it's all hardscapes that really need to happen. We do have a paving date locked in for the site being on the 26th of July. Working towards that with getting all the concrete sidewalks in first, and then heavily been discussed with KBA's landscape architect, and I know Steve's been involved in these discussions as well for the plantings. The August 15th date is what we're shooting for all the plantings and seedings to occur. That'll give us our best growth for this coming up planting season to finish up everything. And there will be obviously some maintenance going on to make sure all that grass takes well and all the plants take well. So that'll be starting August 15th. We can't start that too much earlier than that, just because of the weather and how the season works. So and then the other large item we're working on is the canopy at the front of the building. So you can see here again, they did all the site work demo. The temporary asphalt was all removed. We are tentatively scheduled to swing steel for the canopy starting tomorrow. We do see some thunderstorms in the forecast, so that may delay us as we have, a crane and a thunderstorm isn't going to go well together. So tentatively it's tomorrow. Few days worth of install on the steel. We'll follow that up with roofing, and we are tracking well on the rest of the trades. Waiting on the metal panel ceiling to arrive towards the end of July. It's the ship date that we've been given right now. And that'll get installed as well before the August turnover of the canopy. So largely, coordination with the school still ongoing for with custodial staff as far as our punch list items and cooperation with their moves and their cleanings that they're doing this summer as well. So we're in contact with the occupants of the building right now and continue working with KBA and CSG on the final coordination for any furniture. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions?
I have a question. Are there those barriers? I'm not sure what they're called, but they were removed obviously with the asphalt. Is that that's going to be back in place?
They will. Yep. Underneath the cones and spray painted in pink there are there's the footings and the pipes that the bollards slide back over. So
Okay.
bollards are moved across into the island, across the drive aisle there, just to keep them protected while the rest of the work happens.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Okay, want to move into the potential change orders?
Steve, if I could ask,
Yep, go
is
ahead.
that a new flagpole too? Did I
Say that
see
again?
that picture, a new flagpole?
Yes,
That is flagpole. Yep.
Looks
that's
good.
been in for a while.
Oh, has it?
We still
Looks
have the
good.
sidewalks underneath, so when we do the sidewalks, there's lights that shine up from the sidewalk.
Excellent, okay. Excellent.
Lights.
Okay, Rich. There you go.
On for the change orders. PCO 240 is the same list that Paul had mentioned earlier. 240 is for an RFI 257, making the details work and be compliant with code for the handrails and the D-wing ramps. So there is a second rail that's going to be installed underneath and tying into the upper rail on the upper and lower ramps. So there is some extra work beyond what the details had originally showed to connect those two. PCO 254 is for CM contingency item. This was something we had to do to make sure the gym stayed dry. We ended up temporarily using existing roof drains and eventually tied into the permanent ones at a later date to keep the building dry and allow the finishes to complete when we were doing that phase. So there was some work there, additional work required by the roofer. PCO 260 is for some brake metal details that were generated in 295 and 296 with KBA for the two doors that connect from the courtyard out through D-wing, just making the mechanicals fit into that space due to some existing steel that we ran into there. So we did provide some drops in the ceiling at those vestibules to make that area work. PCO 261 is for RFI 290. There was deck supports that were apparent after the parapet was demoed and when the new parapet was being built on phase 5 roof. It was not shown on the 2000s as-built drawings how that deck support edge works, so we ended up having to pad out the parapet by with another 3/4 inch layer of plywood. So the carpenter had agreed to not to exceed price on that one based on a meeting that we did have on site with Newfield, Carpenter, KBA, and CSG to review those details. PCO 263 was another CM contingency item for the roofer. This was relating to the height of the parapets on the phase 4 wing. We did have to add a fascia extender to get the correct overhang that we needed from the fascia down onto the metal panels on the side of the building due to the prefabricated heights of the metal panels and the roofing insulation thickness, make that properly work and stay as a weather tight detail. And then PCO 264, were some revisions that we did make to the canopy as far as getting power out to it for the lighting, emergency and regular circuits. So the electrician was originally, per their original price in the PR, they were requested to exit from the lobby roof into the canopy roof. And in discussion with the roofing contractor and KBA, there's concerns about the warranty and being able to properly maintain that penetration through the roof, just with how the canopy roof drains back onto the main roof. So it was determined to go underground from the crawl space underneath, and we'll be going up the face of the column on the backside. It'll be a cleaner look aesthetically, and we feel a better install to get everything weather tight on that area. Any questions?
Anyone have any questions on this? If not, someone would like to make a motion that we approve PCOs 240, 254 to, let me read it here, 260, 261, 263, 264, in the amount of $8,875.48. Who wants to take it?
I'll make
Take
the,
it. So moved.
Thank you, Carol. And second by
I'll
Kim.
second it then.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Eileen, back to you. We have some invoices.
Unmuting, all right. Share the screen. Is this large enough, or do you need me to make it a little larger?
No, I could see it.
Okay, great. So Steve, Steve has approval of 25K, so he has approved most of these invoices. Robert Lord, the furniture invoice, we'll just need a vote from the committee and then approval. This has a purchase order associated with it, so this amount was already set aside. 230 PO 231 466, the amount 105 949 49. So these are just our regular Meyer invoices. Freeman, who does the stormwater, Tri-State, KBA, CSG. The total amount of invoices for this month is 118 986 67. And there will be more invoices next week. I'm sorry, next month is what I meant to say. Anyone have any questions on these?
So we need to make a motion for the Robert Lord, the ones that's over my threshold for the 105, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So I entertain a motion that we approve the motion from, the invoice from Robert Lord for $105,949.49. And it is for furniture, fixtures and equipment. So I think it's seating, to be honest with you, at this point. And someone like to move that?
make the motion.
Thank you, Carol. And a second.
Second.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Aye.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
Thank you.
Any other business pertinent to committee? And actually I have one in here. I've asked Lou to solicit prices from Creative Recreation, who does the playground work. We were always gonna put that small playscape into the courtyard. We do have the money left over, as you saw in the financial report that Eileen gave us, after we spend this amount, if you approve this. This has not been approved, so it's not going anywhere until we agree. This is an amount of $126,795. And it basically gives the preschoolers mostly, I think, and the younger kids in that courtyard a play surface instead of a gravel path that they just have a blacktop path to go around in circles. And I think it's gonna help make the school look better. And it'll make it look finished. And I'm glad that, we've been able to be as careful as we can with our spending to have this money left over to allow this to happen. And I'll throw it out to the committee, see where you're at on it.
Steve, can we see what it's going to look like?
Lou, do we have anything?
I do have something. It'll take me a second to get it on my email so I can put the rendering up. So just, you can continue with other questions and I'll get right back to everybody. So.
Oh, I have something to add to this as well. I just wanted to point out that this one line is for the playground parts and refresh, and that is outside of D wing. So that will also refresh the existing playground that's there. As well as, so Lou's getting what it will look like with the preschool playground, the sensory items.
Go ahead, Dave, and then Jeremy.
Is this an additional playground for the younger kids?
It's not an additional playground. Well, it's an additional one. There was only one before on the outside. Lou, was there one in the courtyard before?
Yes, they had a smaller area in there before.
Like a little, really tiny thing? So
Yep.
this was part of the project, Dave. We had a value engineer out originally because we didn't have the money. And again, we've done really well with our change orders. And the original playground, I would guess, was probably somewhere in the tune of $300,000. So this is obviously scaled back. So it's a little bit smaller than what was originally going to be placed in there. But it serves the purpose of the board right now. This is something that Lou solicited, and he feels this will meet the needs of the school for the present time.
I just wanted to be clear that there is nothing in that area at this particular time.
There was
And that
supposed to
this-
be blacktop. We eliminated the blacktop a while ago because Lou was going to do something there at some point. And we had talked early on this committee, probably for the last 6-7 months, as we got towards the end of the project, how we would spend some of the money that we have in our contingency fund. And this was one of the things that came to the top of the list.
Okay, I understand. That makes it clear. Thank you.
Okay.
Is the
Jeremy?
image up on the screen for everybody?
No, just your,
It was
picture was
Lou,
up
and
there.
then now it's your screen.
we could see your
Okay.
screen.
It was, all right, so
Jeremy?
I gotta move this back then.
Steve, I think Amy had her hand up first, so I'll
Okay.
defer
All
to
right,
her.
Amy, I'm sorry, go ahead.
All right, is it there now?
No,
No, you stopped sharing, Lou. You had it up for a split second.
Okay, let me try this again.
While you're pulling it up, this, just to clarify, this would be used for the preschool program, and next year, I know we're in the process of expanding preschool, so next year there's gonna be a full 4-year-old class and 2 half-day classes as well. So there are several preschool students that are gonna be at Anna Reynolds, and they can't use either of the other 2 playgrounds outside. So this is very much would very much be welcomed and needed for those students to be able to have a playground to play on.
Do I have it right now?
yeah, it's up there now, Lou.
Okay,
Yeah, we got it.
okay. All right, so this is
Very cute.
similar to what we'll be getting. They did want to go with the primarily primary colors in this. And this will be inside a asphalt walkway around the entire perimeter of this. So we can't have our tricycle races around it, when the kids get going this year or next year with it. And, the rubberized surfacing is what makes all the difference in the world for, the usability and friendliness of the overall playscape, much fewer injuries, or bumps and bruises really at this level. And the design here is very similar to what we set up at John Patterson for their preschool area, basically the same little tower castle type thing off to the side, a little like a cabin over on the other side for the kids to kind of get in and out of, and 3 or 4 exercise experiences for the kids, for being able to get around and all the things that we're trying to reinforce for the growth and development of preschool kids. If I remember correctly, this was around 2,000 square feet size-wise. I'd have to go back
It's
and look.
1,500, 1,800 square feet.
1,800, yeah.
You're close.
So that's just about what the other old play area was for the playscape before the project.
All right, thanks, Lou. Jeremy?
I think it's a great idea. And this is one of the things that I was really pushing for early on, and I was kind of disappointed to see dropped, was the center courtyard getting some attention that I think it sorely needs. So this is great. I'm happy to see this. My question is really just centered on the rest of the courtyard. Are we doing some good landscaping? Are we putting in a nice path for the kids to walk just around maybe the courtyard? I know there's a little bit of grade there, and there's some other sheds and things that are in that area. Are we doing anything to enhance the landscape in there?
There's again, the lawn area is not going to look good until September, October. We're in weed season now, so it won't look good, but there is a new path system paved. As Lou said, around this playscape is what they call a trike path. So the kids will be able to have that. And, there's ADA accessible pathways to get from point A to point B through the courtyard. So is it going to be perfect? No, because we have some really big elevation changes in there. But I think in the end, it's going to look really good.
Right, and the shed that was inside for storing all the materials has essentially, I know they started, but I'm not sure they're done for actually rebuilding it. It was a lot less expensive to rebuild it in place instead of trying to crane in another one from somewhere else and demolish the old one. So that's all set up in right positions, and everything is, really good. Drainage has been good so far, so we're not going to have any, mud spots or any, what appears any problems with rutting out things, and, the landscaping not holding up. So it looks pretty good so far.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Carol?
I am thrilled that we are going to do something in the courtyard. I have a couple of questions. One, is it handicap accessible? Because we do have a large special ed population, and also were the special ed teachers and the preschool teachers consulted on this design?
Yes. Okay. Question number 2, Jessica Haggerty, along with Jason Smith, designed this with me
Perfect.
a couple months back when we were putting it together. So this was what they asked for, and Jessica was very comfortable with it being very similar to the John Patterson setup. As far as the other question on the ADA compliance, there's 3 primary paths to doorways. There's 2 that go to what is the south wings of the school, which is where the media center is. Just like in the past, you had one that was closer to the upper wing. The other one is closer to the lower wing. That is all ADA compliant with grading, blacktop all the way from the courtyard area or the play area here, all the way down to each of those 2 doors.
Okay.
Going up the hill back to the door that's under the overhang, that's been redesigned so that it meets all of the grading requirements, so they can come right down from there on an ADA qualified pathway to join the tricycle loop that's here. So everything is ADA inside the area.
Excellent. Thank you. Looks great.
Good.
Thank you. Can you put that back up so I can see the amount again? The other thing I just want to, because this is not the full amount, there's a small, because it'll go through the Newfield, who is a construction manager. There's some insurance and CM fee that gets tacked onto it, but
Right.
it's minimal.
All right, Eileen, you gotta take over and present your spreadsheet.
I'm gonna guess it'll, Rich, help me, well, maybe $1,000, $1,500, $2,000. It's not very much. It's like 1% for insurance, I think it is, and 1.3% for the CM fee.
Yeah, our all in with the insurance, we're around 2%, but I can discuss
Okay.
that with
Yeah.
Eileen.
Okay. So if we're all in
Am I
favor here,
sharing?
someone like to make a motion that we approve the creative recreation. And actually, what I'd like to do is do this in the amount of $130,000, so not to exceed $130,000. So we have that little bit of wiggle room so that the CMP can get added on without coming back to us. Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Carol. And a second.
Second,
Now, both Carol and Amy have their hands up. Do you have questions before we vote?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to put it. down.
yeah, I just have a quick question. If we do approve this, will we be able to order, install it and everything before school starts?
Yes, it's supposed to be installed, I believe, sometime in July.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. All right, so all in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Which I didn't think there would be, and I'm glad that there's not. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And Lou.
And Carol, did you notice the primary colors here?
I did notice them. It's not primary colors, it's just child-friendly colors. Doesn't have to be primary.
I was surprised when I walked through the building, but like I said, I didn't think it was the committee's responsibility to pick the colors. And I still don't, but I do think now the lesson learned is that we need to make sure that the Board of Ed signs off as a whole, the superintendent, that they know what they're getting so that they can answer the teacher's questions and we don't get put on the spot. That was my lesson learned.
Like that idea.
I'm not trying to put them on the spot either, but it makes it a little bit easier. Comments by members? Anybody have anything?
I have just one thing, a save the date. So on September 11th, we're planning on having a ribbon cutting grand reopening for, from 5 to 6 for, the committee members and community members, our state delegation. It's the same night as the Anna Reynolds open house. So the same night families will get to come in, obviously to see it. So September 11th at 5 o'clock. Save the date.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone
Steve,
else?
I do have one more item, if you don't mind, which was that technology one we talked about in the beginning.
Okay.
If I share
And we
this.
do also have a payment for an application.
Oh,
for
yeah,
payment.
you're
Yes,
right.
yes.
I forgot that. Thank you, Lauren.
Thanks, Lauren.
Yeah. Actually, while you're pulling that up,
Yeah, I can
we-
share both of them. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
okay, we just need to make a motion to approve payment app 25 for Newfield Construction in the amount of $396,801.73. Boy, thank you, Lauren, very much for reminding me that we need to do that. Kim, is that you got your hand up for yes on that? Will you make that motion?
Well, it was for something else, but yes, I will make this motion.
Okay, and the second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Amy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone
Aye.
opposed? Motion passes. Okay, what do you have?
Okay.
Eileen?
So Craig had
Oh.
to order another wireless access point, and this here for I think this is where it got cut off. It would say for Anna Reynolds. He's the buyer, and like Amy said, it went to his address here,
Yeah,
but
he's the buyer and
it-
we're the payer.
this was over and above. I did encumber it in the amount. I did take it off of there. So if you would like to
Okay,
approve this and have it become part of the project,
okay.
8,640.
Yeah. I entertain a motion that we approve an invoice for Atlantic Computing Technology Corp. in the amount of $8,640. Who wants it?
So moved.
Thank you, Dave. And a second?
Second,
Second by Kim. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Kim, your hand is still up. Do you have
Thank
something?
you.
Yeah, just, and this is a quick question about John Wallace. Are we having a meeting immediately after this
Soon
on
as
John
it's
Wallace?
over, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
I just wanted to double check. Thank
It
you.
can't start until I and Lauren get there though, and you.
That's what I figured. I just wanted to double
And
check.
Dave.
Thanks.
Okay. All right, then, motion to adjourn.
Make the motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Carol. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I
We stand adjourned and it is 6:08. Thank you, everyone, and
Thank you.
great attendance tonight
Thank
too.
you.
Everybody's here.
Thank you.
See you in a month.
Thank you.
Okay, good night.